Hi there. So I just purchased Dominion Renaissance, the new expansion, and just looking online at some different stuff. And of course, I always see the different storage solutions. And I figured I'd post mine because I feel like either you have to spend tons of money or the storage solutions don't ever seem to be that great. So most of my stuff comes from BCW Supplies, which is a great website, has tons of stuff. And I see a lot of their things online. But this is what I've done. I have their 6 shoebox holder, and it really holds everything up to now, and still has space for plenty more. Because some of the space, I guess you could say, I've wasted, but I've tried to make it as roomy as possible and have it hold everything available. My cards are sleeved, and I use dividers too, so that takes up extra space. So these are the BCW dividers that I use. These are the sleeves that I use. I wanted the thicker ones because there is a lot of shuffling in this game, of course, so then it could ruin the cards if you don't have them sleeved. So I do sleeve them. So obviously if you don't sleeve your cards, then this would hold way more probably than you would even need. BCW does have some other supply boxes. Some of them are even super nice looking, but I don't think would hold everything in one, and I just wanted to carry one box if I go anywhere. This is reinforced on the bottom because it's so heavy, and I've even taped some game boxes just to the top and sides and stuff so that you can see what is in it, but it does get super heavy with all those cards, so I reinforced it just taping some extra cardboard on the bottom so that it doesn't collapse when you pick it up. This is just something I use to hold all the rule books. It's just one of the old Dominion boxes. I'm sure you could use like a file folder or something like that, but this just holds all the different rule books. And that's the only thing separate that I have to have. Everything else fits in here. I have all the sets labeled. I found these icons just on the Dominion Strategy wiki page, and I just enlarged them in the computer and printed them out, taped them to the box. I pretty much went in order. I only had to go out of order for number 10 because it's such a big set, so it kind of needed its own space combined with the others. And then I just had to break into this new box finally for Renaissance. I was just using it for excess storage before. So here's Renaissance and the little mats, Villagers Coffers mats that it comes with. And all the cards. So I usually take a little piece of the box just so it's labeled in the front, so I know when there's multiple sets in a box which one is which. You could do this with any kind of printout that you want to separate them. I don't sleeve my randomizer cards, so that's what those are. And the rest of the cards are sleeved and separated alphabetically within the set. I just take the insert that goes in the original box and I slice it up and just use those tabs. But there's plenty of online printouts that you can use as well and print your own tabs. But these are those divider card tabs. They're really nice and sturdy, plastic. And I just tape those on here, kind of like a lamination. And then just have my sleeved cards inside. This is just extra stuff for now. I'm sure it'll be filled with cards as he just builds more and more expansions. This is just the base card box that I'm using to hold all of the blanks, which I'm sure would be made into a fan expansion at some point, if I could figure out a way to print them nicely on there. And then here's all the, see if I can do this one-handed. All the little pieces from the inserts, the extras. So sometimes I'll use these for cards that don't have a label, or if I want to separate something else. Little extra pieces there. Some dice bags and stuff. So in the this one, I just took a base cards plaque and pasted that on there. This is just all the basic setup stuff. I've printed out a sheet that I just made up quick on the computer that kind of does a quick setup by the number of players, what is in a basic setup, and then some optional setups that you can use and I updated it for the projects that are in Renaissance. So I just find this is a quick help setup so that you don't have to think about, you know, what goes where and how many and all that kind of stuff. And then in here is just all the basics. This is a quick 2-player setup with enough estates and coppers for 2 people. Just keep that separate. And then this is just all estates and victory point cards all the way up to the colonies. And then this is all the money, the coppers, the silvers, the golds, the platinums. This is the tokens, and I have a little life tracker thing in here. I have the pouch with all the gold tokens in it to keep track of all those. Some dice that I use just to keep track of everything. The trash cards, the curses, this is all just the basic stuff, the shelters. So I do separate some of these out from the sets just because they can be used in other sets, like I said, in the optional setup. So everything that's in an optional setup, I do keep in here just because you could use it with other sets. So the shelters are in here, the events, the projects, and then I have all the promo cards in here too. So there's all the promo randomizers, black market, dismantles, the newer one, envoy, governor, stash, prince, sauna, avanto, and then I even have the summon event card in here, even though it's single. So this is what I was talking about before. So this one I just found it was easier just to print. I found a label online that looked fine, so I printed that. But sometimes, let's find, so here's some like where I just put the word and then wrote in the number on one of those extras. And then newer ones I've been able to find like this that look a little better, and I can just tape them over top. You know, any way you want to do it is fine, just so you can tell where everything is. This is the whole base box so that everything you need to set up a game is in there, the basic parts, and then all the rest, all the kingdom cards in it. So then here's the first few sets. So as you can see, this is the base set, the second edition expansion of it. I didn't throw away the original cards like they kind of suggested, I just kept them. Intrigue, first and second, and then Seaside. So all the stuff alongside it fits in there too. So here's my Seaside mats, I just have them on top, and all the other 3 sets. And I just use these card expanders just to separate. And then I have my little pouch there with my Seaside embargo tokens. For the next one, Alchemy, Prosperity, Cornucopia, and Hinterlands. Same kind of deal. So all just separated out. And then pouch for the related victory point tokens that go along with that. And the little mats fit in here too. Sorry for the kids screaming in the background. They don't always play well with each other. Dark Ages, Guilds, Empires. Like I said, I had to go out of order because Adventures is such a big expansion. But here's, so Dark Ages, and it has some big sets in there. So there's like the Hermit, and here's all the, what you call them, the not so good cards, the Ruins that you don't want to get. So those are all in there. And Guilds and Empires and all the tokens that are related to Empires. I just have a little pouch. I mean, you could use a plastic bag, whatever. I did use nice dice bags, but you don't have to. And then Adventures and Nocturne. Oh, heavy one because Adventures is big one. Nocturne is a big one. So that's what goes in there. I just have this as a buffer for the mats that go with Adventures and all the different tokens. I separated out into bags by each color so each person can pick one. And then Nocturne, another huge set. Like I said, the randomizers I don't sleeve, but everything else is sleeved. So there's all the Adventures cards. And then I separated them out. Actually, this one set is one I had to do a little differently just so that I could keep it organized for myself. So, for example, Imp is only required for certain cards. So I printed out some Imp tags and I taped them onto the same card divider so that I knew, hey, when I use Devil's Workshop, I need to grab Imp, because not the card lists, the suggested card lists don't always tell you that. So where's another one, just so I know? Any of the other ones that like go together, like Necromancer and Zombies are together, and that's why I like using these, because they code together and they tell you that they go together. For some reason with this set, they didn't tell you when the certain other cards come with it. So like here's one that requires boons, like Pixie and Goat requires boons. So I take that on there to remind me, hey, go get the boons when you pull this set. So then I separated those out into the back. So there's the Ghost and the Imp and the Will-o'-the-Wisp. And I separated those out. But even some of these, like the boons, when you need boons, you need Will-o'-the-Wisp. So again, I just always have reminders for myself for when associated cards. So like when you need hexes, you also need states. And here's the states in the back here. So just to remind me when I'm setting this up so I don't forget something, because as we know, setup for this game is one of the things that takes the longest. And this kind of organization helps you keep it all together and do the setup and breakdown as quickly as possible. So that's the whole box. And there's one other thing I was going to show that I forgot to bring down, so I'll have to go get it. That I think it's also from BCW Supplies that really goes well. But what's nice is, yes, it's an extremely heavy box, but hey, it's in one box. It's not that hard to carry. It doesn't have a fancy handle or anything like that, like some of the big wooden chests and stuff that you've seen. But it holds all the sleeved cards that I use all in one spot. There's still plenty of room for others. I could cram some of these even further together to make room if I need to, or they do actually sell a even bigger one than this that I think is 4x3. So it'll be 12 of these shoe boxes if they keep going with expansions and make more and more and more. But let me grab one box to take with me so I can show you the setup that I use. So this is the card sorting tray from BCW. And this is a perfect thing for Dominion. It works well for a lot of other games that require you to lay out a lot of cards, like if anybody plays Machi Koro. This works for that. It works for a lot of games that require you to have a whole bunch of cards out at once. I'm sure this is for like store display or for like sorting baseball cards or whatever. But I gotta say, this works perfect for Dominion. So here's my base box here. And like I said, I can just grab my setup sheet and I know how much of each thing I need. But let's grab some estates, for example. So you have your estate, and I know this isn't a duchy, but that's where it would go. And the colony and provinces. And then you could put like curse in here, whatever. There's 2 rows of 5 here for your 10 kingdoms. There's rows up here you can use for your copper, your silver, your gold, your platinum if you play with it, any extra cards. This is perfect for like the trash pile or any bonus cards that you have, or if you have like events out or projects out, they can sit here. So this is perfect, and you have your 2 perfect rows of 5 for your kingdom cards. So everybody can see them, everyone can pull and grab what they want. If you're playing with a big table, all you have to do is put this on a Lazy Susan, and then it spins around so that everyone can equally see what they're playing with. So this is a perfect thing, and it costs nothing. I've seen some things on Etsy, like Lazy Susan things carved from wood and stuff like that, and they cost a fortune. This is a much cheaper option. It's just formed plastic, so it doesn't cost hardly anything. I don't remember exactly, but I think it was even under 20 bucks. So that's my Dominion setup. I just feel like I wanted to let everybody know that, how it's done easily with some stuff from BCW. I don't work for them. I'm just promoting their stuff because it's been great stuff and it's not expensive at all. And it's cheap to make this setup, and very easy to hold everything in one spot, so you can travel with it if you need to. I think that's it. Please feel free to ask any questions in the comments or anything. I'm not somebody who posts a whole bunch of videos. I'm usually just a watcher. But I feel like I needed to show this because I've never seen this kind of storage solution before, and I feel like it's pretty innovative and easy to set up. All right, thanks a lot.